All right, we're live. Good afternoon, YouTube. Home Theater Joe here. And as usual, I hope y'all are happy, healthy, and doing well. Listen, the audio is not going to work out the way I wanted it to, but I'm just here to do some quick tips. All right. Had a great question this morning from a friend of the community. What was it? Omen Gamer 2017. So let's talk about this real quick. Here you can see I am running Cinema Home because it is daytime. All right. Simple as that. So I want to break this down just a little bit. Again, I hope the audio is going to be okay. I know you guys probably can't see that well, but we'll figure that out. Let's see here. I just wanted to show you guys what I got going on. No sharpness, no enhancement in color. The only difference here between Cinema Home and Cinema is the color temperature. Here I have selected cool. Everything else is the same. Now, I would also like to take this opportunity to say that the panel is in its native state. That is very important for calibrating white point balance. So we need to bring the panel to its native state. What does that mean? You need to be in 16:9. Okay. This is, again, it's a 77C10. I should have said that. What else we want to do? No sharpness. You can't select this because it's Dolby Vision. All right. But if you could select it, you would need to set them here. This is native panel resolution, color gamut wide, and gamma 2.2. Okay. So that's very important as well. Also, when you do the white balance, you want to be at warm too. But for the sake of what it is today, being daylight, I'm here. But again, we just want the panel in the native state. So let's get to the white balance issue using Calman Home and seeing what the big hiccup is. And the reason I'm very glad this question came up. So we're going to enter our service menu real quick. 0413, blah, blah, blah. Where are we going over here? Oh, okay. So here's one thing I want to know real quick. You have a user remote and a service remote. Looky there. When I use this user remote, okay, it works. This is a problem. When you're using your service remote, and actually I'm in the wrong menu here. When you're using your service remote, 0413. Because you're using this remote and this remote is still active, you have to be careful. You better set this up somewhere. You don't want your kids or somebody getting a hold of it. When you're messing around in the service menu, guys, you need to take pictures, even if you're not messing around with the values. But here we go. This is the big thing I want to talk about right now. When we're doing this white balance calibration and using Calman Home, we go over here to white balance. Okay, now we're in warm. As you can see, my stuff is already been dealt with. I guess should know very quickly, medium, I have left alone. Never touched it. Cool, we leave alone. We don't touch it. The only thing we need to touch is warm. But I will show you. I don't know if this will pick up. Let's try to go back one menu. Sorry, wrong button. Where did it go? Man, it's been a while since I've used this menu. Here we go. Okay, so I don't know if you can tell this, but guys, watch what happens to the screen when I move to this menu, the next menu. Okay, really probably can't see it, but trust me when I say, oh, and there goes the phone. Trust me when I say that even with this pattern off, when you're making the adjustments to these using the RGB balance and the Calman Home program, okay, it's not going to be correct because this menu is different than this menu. You could be at 109% white right here on this menu. And as soon as you click this button, this sub menu, and get into this menu, you're now shifting to peak white, which is something like, I don't know, 230 some nits. So whatever calculation you make here is incorrect. When you are balancing the RGB, you must make your adjustments here, switch back to this menu. You switch back here, then you take your single reading again. Guys, we don't want to leave our measurement just to on and just constantly reading, because it's going to affect the luminance. It's going to raise our luminance when we don't want it to be. This sub menu is totally different. I'm sorry, than, if it'll work, than this menu. So we must make our adjustments. That's the important thing I wanted to get out here today. We got to make these adjustments here in this menu, back up, and then take the measurement. And this is something that nobody talks about. Okay. And believe you me, we all know it's difficult finding. Actually, Class D Tech has some really good stuff out there, especially for white balance. But I know I've covered this before months ago, but the question popped up again. So I just wanted to say this very quickly. This is imperative. Okay. One more time. This is where you make your measurement. Okay. In this menu here, once you click white balance and head into this menu to warm, this is where you make your adjustment. Switch back to this menu, take your reading with Kalman. That is very important, must be done. Now, our friend also asked about the 22 point adjustment in Kalman. And this is what I'm going to tell you about that. My experience. I've done 2-point white balance, 2-point grayscale, 10-point grayscale, and 22-point grayscale, while the display has been this menu here. When we go into, oops, sorry, wrong password, 0413. When we go to this menu, this is called a service menu calibration. Okay, so no matter how many times I hit, I shouldn't say it. I don't want to confuse people. Let me back out of here. This service calibration that we do in the service menu, that's not going to be touched unless you go into the service menu and physically change it. When I go here into, excuse me, my cinema mode, it doesn't matter what I do with these numbers, guys. I can do whatever I want. And I can go down here, hit reset, and boom. Okay, it's going to do what it wants. The reason this doesn't matter is because I've done the service menu calibrations. So what I'm going to do is set this back to what I always have it on. That sharpness, we're getting out of here. We don't want that. We're going to leave color. Let's go here to our advanced controls. Again, you're going to see that these are grayed out because you're now in Dolby Vision. You're not going to be allowed to access these no matter what. So no matter how many times you reset this, and I don't know if you can pick this up on camera, but believe you me, this is grayed out. There is no access here. So no matter how many times you reset that, it's not going to work because you're in Dolby Vision. Don't worry about it. Now, we're going to go over here to white balance. Now, this white balance has got me a warm too, but because I'm daytime viewing, because I like cinema home for daytime, I'm going to switch it to cool. There, I'm going to be done. I'm not going to do anything with 2-point because I prefer to do that through the Kalman Home program. If I do it at all, which I'm going to finish my point about that in just a second, I would like to put all my stuff back for cinema home, smooth gradation. Like, we want all processing pretty much gone, okay? We don't want that stuff. So now that this is back to normal, I can go back to saying what I was saying. Once we've done that service menu calibration, we know we can play around in those menus, and whatever we do in there doesn't really matter at the end of the day. When you're using Kalman Home, the last thing you want to do, though, is hit full DDC reset, unless you need to. Okay? So I stay outside of Kalman, AutoCal, excuse me, and I use everything manually in AutoCal. So I I try to steer clear of the AutoCal program itself. Sorry, might be repeating there a lot, but these are the tips that I think are very important because it doesn't really explain, or Calvin, or the program doesn't even explain to you the difference in that service menu there. Okay, so these are just a little couple of tips that you can use to help. I kind of forgot, I kind of lost what I was saying there. The important thing is um, the display needs to be in a native state, guys. Really needs to be native. Okay. Um, Once you have the display in a native state, then you can make your adjustments in the service menu. And no matter what you do in the user menu now, that's where I was at. User menu. You can always set back to whatever your preference is and know that in that warm temperature setting, you're good. Now, as far as I would go beyond that is 2-point calibration. I would also pick 30 and 70. Usually 70 is the trouble spot for these WRGB OLEDs. All right. So if you choose to do a 2-point calibration using the Calvin software, which I'm all for, I would say do that. And by saying all this, I'm saying stay out of AutoCal. I don't believe AutoCal is what we want. Hey, CG, what's up, brother? Let's see what you got to say here, my friend. Oh, I can't. I don't know if I can type it or what. Touch it. Sorry. Let's see. Hey, Joe. What do I need to calibrate my TV? How much is it? And can anyone do it? So yeah, I'm not using Calman Home right now. That's for sure. But I do believe that Calman Home is valuable. And I've said this throughout my critique of Calman. I really do appreciate what that product brings to us. So to answer your question, what do you need to calibrate? Now, if you want to get as accurate as you can, it requires a Spectra, which is, I think, around $1,400, $1,500, maybe more. If you want to get as close as I've gotten with my displays, all it requires is a service menu um, uh, adjustment in the warm color temperature. I do stay out of the program. That's kind of what I was in the middle of saying. I stay out of AutoCal because it does set your display in a box. It puts parameters on the display right out of the gate. So whenever you hit full DDC reset in LG Calman Home, you're setting the parameters, if you will, you're setting the display in a box automatically, and it will never reach beyond that box because Calman is doing what Calman's doing. It's basically making educated guesses. Probably not even looking at the camera. It's basically making educated guesses. Very good educated guesses and algorithms to determine um, where your grayscale and color need to be. Having said all that, the easiest way to get started is with Calman Home, which costs I think $145, very reasonable, and a meter. I have two of them. Well, actually, our buddy has one of them now, but I have the OME or OEM I1 Pro. Uh, that's it, not the Pro Plus now. I want to be clear about that. I had the Pro Plus. It didn't work with color space. I do really like color space and what's going on there, but there's a lot going on in our personal lives right now. So it's just been really hard for me to even set up and do some kind of thing like this has been very difficult to do as of the last few months. So that's why I've gotten away from it, kind of got to the format I'm in right now. I know you can't even probably see me, but I do believe that Calvin Home is so reasonable, and buying a meter is going to set you back another $250. So you're probably under $400 for getting your display in line really, really well. I can also tell you between the C10 and the C10 out of the box was, I think it registered right around 15 or 16 delta error. So clearly perceptible to the human eye. That's how off it was. After white balance service calibration of the warm color temperature, the RGB balance, it is now a little above 3, around 3.5. So just barely perceptible. the C1 out of the box was around 3, and now it sits at about 1.4. So if that gives you any idea moving forward, like these displays are getting nothing but accurate. I kind of got into calibrating my own displays just way too late, if I'm being honest, because the C1 is so deadly accurate out of the box, and I think moving forward, the rest of these TVs will be as well. So I don't know that for sure. We're gonna have to see, but that's just what I speculate. So Calvin Home is very reasonable, man. I just have to kick this dead horse one more time. Stay out of AutoCal. Don't run that. I'm not a fan of it. I know people are probably just screaming at their displays, at their computer or phone or whatever, if they're hearing me say that. But I'm just a dumb old floor man for Virginia. You know, I don't know a whole lot about this stuff. These are just my experiences that I can share with the community. So I think that's where I'm at. And yeah, just to finish up, CG, I have not renewed my Calman license, man, and it's difficult, man. Every time there's just been so many updates, man. Every time an update comes down the line for now 2 displays, I have to reset everything and start from scratch, and it's taxing. It's not very fun. So, yeah, that's why I haven't seen a whole lot of that. Been doing that much because I think all in all, I was saying like just turn auto update off, don't use it. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. Need to wrap up a little bit more with color space, but once to do that, I intend to be able to get my displays even closer than what I can outside of Calman Home, just using their manual things. So, oh, as always, my friend, you're welcome. I would definitely encourage anyone, anyone to get Calman Home and a meter. Just understand it's not going to be deadly accurate, honestly. And Classic Tech has so much good stuff on calibration. And there's a handful others out there as well, but that's where I would start. Calman Home, a meter, Classic Tech, maybe some of my old stuff as well. But it's very difficult to show computer display what you're doing as far as remotes and equipment. It's very hard to make the video. So bless all these content creators out here that can do all those things that I can't do, and good on them. I really appreciate those guys. I think that's about it for me, though. I really just wanted to address those 2 topics about the um, the service menu white balance, because I just don't hear anybody say it. You cannot make the adjustments right there in screen and expect the measurements to be the same. You have to make the adjustments in the service menu with the RGB, and then measure one menu back. Guys, that's so imperative. And also, I'm going to have to actually take that. Also, you want to do all of this in the native panel of the native state of the panel, which is, sorry, probably can't see me, um, Rec 709, all that good stuff. Kind of went through it. So sorry. Anyway, I got to go. Stuff is always going on, it seems like, here lately. Really appreciate um, the question. And I love going over this stuff. So I'm going to wrap a bow on it. But as always, thank you all for listening. Be good. Be safe. Boom. Yeah, let's end that. Boom.